Theatricals, Emily Stamets here, coach for theatrical women and grown-up theater kids across the world. And today I want to talk about this little journey that I am just starting to put my pinky toe onto, which is starting a podcast. Which I'm very excited about. You can follow us at findyourlightpodcast.com. Find Your Light is the podcast that helps theatrical women take center stage in lives they love. It's going to be amazing. But here's the thing. I have been thinking about this for years. It is an idea that probably originated with my husband. He's a huge podcast fan, and he's always been, since I started life coaching, he's been like, you should have a podcast. You should start a podcast. You should do a podcast. You should do the thing. And I've always been like, oh no, I don't know. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't have enough to say. No one wants to hear from me. I'm not well known enough yet. All of these things. Of course, all of the inner critic things, all of the voices that tell us that we don't have enough, we aren't good enough. It happens to everybody, right? So that's where I've been. And then Mercury went into retrograde a couple of weeks ago. And what happens to me, and I know this is like, it makes me sound like I'm super hippy dippy, and I'm not that hippy dippy, but I have watched the trend with Mercury retrograde that I always turtle up at the beginning, and then coming out of it, I have these amazing new ideas, or more often, the ideas that I've been incubating are ready, right? They're ready to pop out of the oven. They're fully baked. They're ready to go. And that's what happened this time. But I wanted to talk specifically about what I shifted in the way I was thinking about this new creative project that I think was so helpful in getting me to actually start taking the steps to doing it. Now, thinking about a podcast, at first blush, the podcast was just going to be me talking about smart things for like 20, 30, maybe 45 minutes. And that was going to be it, which I'm totally capable of. Let me just put that out there. I totally could talk for 45 minutes a week on something smart. Absolutely. But that never felt great to me. It was obviously, I never started it. I never did that. So obviously it wasn't something that really felt aligned. It wasn't something that motivated me or that I felt driven to create. And what happened during this last Mercury retrograde, which we're 2 days, still 2 days to go in it. Anyway, what happened is that I started to shift my thinking away from what do I have to say, right? Like, do I have enough to say to fill up 13 weeks of a podcast? Am I smart enough? Do people want to hear about me? And I shifted away from that and into, how can I share the incredible wisdom of our community while also inspiring our community to continue being better? Which, yes, that's still, like, if it was just me talking on a podcast, it still totally fits the bill of that, right? How can I share our stories? How can I share our voices? How can I share our community and inspire our community? But what I've started doing, instead of making it about me, is I was like, oh my gosh, none of this is about me, right? Part of what I do as a coach and part of my belief in the world is that our community of women in theater is already incredibly wise, incredibly smart, incredibly talented. We have all the skills we need to design beautiful lives for ourselves because we do it every day on the stage, right? Like, we're already creating these amazing worlds. Now we just need to learn to build them for ourselves and inhabit them. The wisdom is there. I don't hold the wisdom. I never have believed that I do. I believe that I can be a conduit, though, for gathering that wisdom and funneling it into a medium that is easy to share. So when I shifted my focus away from, oh, Emily Stamets is so smart and has so many things to say and is so great and people are going to want to listen to her, away from that and into, Emily Stamets can be a conduit and a gatherer and an editor, right, of the incredible stories and the wisdom of my people. All of a sudden, it became incredibly easy. All of a sudden, it was easy to be excited. It was easy to take the steps. All of the stuff that feels hard, all the stuff I don't know how to do yet, I'm just like, oh, whatever, I'll figure out how to do it, because I know that this purpose and this mission is so big and it's so much bigger than me. It's no longer like doesn't feel self-serving anymore. Um, which is awesome. So I'm starting to I'm having these incredible conversations with these amazing badass women. I'm gathering the voices of the chorus, which is just simply people calling in and talking about what they've learned and talking about their own wisdom. And now thinking about this podcast as simply a medium to share that wisdom way makes it easy to buckle down and get motivated. So it has turned away from I'm not good enough into I don't have to be good enough, right? Slash, I already am good enough. I'm good at asking people questions. I'm good at listening to stories. I can put that together for us. So I'm wondering for you, if there's something that you feel like you really want to do and you feel like you're not good enough for it yet. First of all, it's probably not true. First of all, you probably really are already good enough. And you're holding yourself back for all sorts of whatever other reasons. And I'm happy to chat about that in a mini session. Book one today. Um, but see what happens if you shift away from I have to be the expert. I have to be good enough. I have to know all the things. I have to be able to do it myself. If you can shift that expectation into what if I'm simply the conduit? What if I am the originator? What if I'm, the one who gets the ball rolling and just gathers, creates the gathering place for the people who do know how to do it, for the people who are passionate about keeping it going. So see what happens for you if you shift away from I'm not good enough and I have to be the one to shoulder the entire burden into I'm excited, I want this thing to happen, and what can I do to gather the people together who can make it happen? See what happens. I'm curious to hear if this moves something for you, if it shifts something for you. So comment or email me anytime, hello@emilystamets.com. Whatever's in your brain and your heart and your spirit to create should be created. So it's your job. You get to do it. But also, if what's holding you back is that feeling of I'm not good enough, start to replace that. You don't have to be good enough, right? You don't have to be anything other than exactly what you are today to create that thing that was given to you. So take it, run with it, make it happen, but see what you can do to make it not be all about you. All right. Excited to hear of how this works for you in the comments or in my email inbox. And again, if you want to book a mini session, go ahead and do that. The link is all over my website and it's all over all my emails and everything. But I would love to spend 10 minutes on the phone with you, chit-chatting. And I may ask you to share the recording of your mini session on the podcast. So you could be podcast famous too. Super fun. So do that. I'm excited to hear from you and I will talk to you soon. Until next time, you are good enough. Know that and enjoy your show. Bye.